So, I went into the match thinking today that maybe, just maybe, there was a chance to get 3 points. A big opportunity for us to pull away from that dreaded relegation zone. What I saw out there was a team devoid of ideas, lack of passion, lack of commitment, and we end up scraping a 0-0 draw against West Brom. Let's have a look at the game, player ratings, see if you guys agree with me on that absolutely dreadful display. This is the Toon Review. Hi there, everybody. My name is Paul. Welcome back to another video where we are reviewing today's Premier League encounter between West Bromwich Albion and Newcastle. It finished a dire 0-0, and we could have come out the game with absolutely nothing today, let's be honest. The second half was as dreadful as it's going to get. No commitment, no drive to get a win from West Bromwich Albion when we are struggling. When we are really on the doorstep of going down, we play as badly as that. Now, yes, we started the game as per usual. We started very well. We looked confident. We looked decent. But my God, it fell away after that, didn't it? Just, you know, after about half an hour, West Brom began to get a bit more confident, knocking the ball around, playing a lot better. And us, we were just stuck in nowhere. And we just didn't seem to want to win 50-50 tackles. We looked absolutely shattered. Yet West Brom, who played on Thursday night, let's not forget, against Everton, a very difficult game, and they play the same 11 today, and that same 11 puts up a fight like that. Yet we look drab and just disorientated yet again. The starting lineup for me was a big worry from the off. The starting lineup had, you know, Dubravka, fair enough. Emil Kraft at right back. What are you doing, Steve Bruce? You know, you've got Manquillo sitting on the bench. It doesn't matter. If Manquillo's fit to be on the bench, he's fit to start as far as I'm concerned. So play him. And if he tires out after 60, 65 minutes or whatever it may be, then fine. That's not a problem. But play the kid. He's better than Kraft, a long way better than Kraft. Left back saw Paul Dummett come in. I was happy with that because I think Dummett is a lot more of a solid left back at the minute than Jamal Lewis is. And Lewis needed taking out the firing line. I thought Dummett was fantastic, brilliant tackler of the ball, and he did his job today. Centre-backs, Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles. Into the midfield, we went with Shelby, Hayden, and goddamn Jeff Hendrick. How he gets a game, I will never know. Never in my lifetime know how he is good enough to play Premier League football. And the front three with Joe Linton, Fraser, and Willock in a false 9, number 10 role. So we didn't really go with a striker from the off. However, you know, Joe Linton had a big opportunity. You know, played through, and he beat his defender very well. And you're just thinking, smash it with your right foot, mate. Just smash it in the net. He doesn't. He tries to cut it back to Fraser, and the defender blocked it. Chance gone, corner. And that's where Joe Linton is lacking in a bit of confidence for me. He had no confidence when he went to shoot that ball. He thought, I'm better off passing it, and it ended up wasted. Second half, he had a lovely opportunity as well. He cut in from the right onto his left foot, and you're thinking, just curl it into the far corner. He didn't. He tried to put it in at the near post, and it was a powder puff shot. He really needs to work on his shooting, that kid. But West Brom were on top, basically from around the 30th minute. They started pushing forward, had a couple of glorious opportunities, and had they had a better striker, they would have scored the goals. However, Diagne really not on form today at all. Poor game from him. Missed some real chances for West Brom. But at half-time, you're thinking, right, you know, Steve Bruce has obviously seen that West Brom is starting to get a bit more into the game, so let's be wary of this here. But no, as Steve Bruce normally does, he sends them out with completely the wrong attitude, no motivation, quite clearly. There was none. And we struggled to get a 0-0 draw. West Brom should have won the game. Sam Allardyce will be sitting in that dressing room at the end of the game wondering how the hell they haven't won that game. And he'll be very, very disappointed they haven't got the 3 points, because that was crucial for them today. As I'm recording this, Fulham are winning at Anfield 1-0. It just says it all, really, doesn't it? I mean, whether they'll hold on or not is a different kettle of fish. But what it does indicate is Scott Parker sends his team out against Liverpool believing they can get something. Whether they can or not, time will tell. but he sends them out with belief. Steve Bruce sends our players out and says to them, a 0-0 draw is good enough. I mean, there is the difference between the managers. Scott Parker has faith in his players. Steve Bruce is happy with a 0-0 draw against West Brom and laughing after the game again. I mean, Jesus Christ, will this man never learn his lesson? You know, save that. Yes, he knows Jake Livermore from his time together at Hull, but don't show that kind of thing out on the pitch straight after the game. If you're going to shake hands and smile and laugh with him, do it where the cameras aren't. Don't piss the Newcastle fans off any more than they are, because that gets you nowhere. But that's Steve Bruce to a T, in my opinion. He just doesn't give a shit. So we'll move on to the player ratings. And if you want to see more of my match reaction, do watch my match reaction live video. You can watch the rerun of it, you know, when we get other comments coming in and things like that. I'm just pissed off. I'm pissed off with Steve Bruce. I'm pissed off with Newcastle United. But I will always support them. I don't care what anybody tries and tells me to do. You know, I'll be there no matter how bad it gets. But that's for my sins, isn't it? But if we look at the player ratings, we start off with Martin Dubravka in goal. Quite solid, I thought. You know, came for crosses very well. Looked more assured than he did against Wolves. And that's what we said last week. You know, give him some game time. Let him, you know, get back into the pace of the Premier League, and we'll start to see the best of Dubravka again. And certainly that's what happened. So I'm going to give Dubravka a 7. Moving to right back, Emil Kraft really didn't do anything for me. He got turned a couple of times, not as much as he has in recent games, but gave the ball away a few times. Didn't really get forward. He had one shot, I think, in the first half, which was ballooned over the bar. Not really a great performance. So a 5 for Emil Kraft. If we move to the left-back position where we've got Paul Dummett, I thought it was great to see Dummett back and making tackles like we know Paul Dummett can. We know he's not the kind of left-back that's going to bomb forward and whip beautiful crosses in. He's never been that type of player. But what Paul Dummett is solid. And we needed somebody solid to come back in at left-back. And he did that. So for me, Paul Dummett was outstanding. He tired towards the end. But for me, still a very good performance. He gets an 8 from me. Into the centre of defence, we've got Jamal Lascelles, the captain. I didn't think he did too badly today. What West Brom threw at us, we managed to keep them out at the end of the day. Not outstanding, but he'll get a 7 from me. Kieran Clark, however, my man of the match, no doubt about it. Every time that West Brom really did threaten, it was Kieran Clark that was there to clear the ball. It was him making the tackles in his own box, you know, risking everything, putting his body on the line. I thought it was a wonderful performance from Kieran Clark. He is without doubt one of our best defenders, and he gets a 9 from me today. If we move into the midfield, we'll start with Isaac Hayden. He has gone very quiet these last few games as Isaac Hayden, but you know what? He still puts himself about. He did enough in this game today to say, yeah, I've really worked my arse off. Didn't do anything outstanding, but you know he needs to be a bit more involved, I think. But I'll give Isaac Hayden a 6. Joe Shelby, again, he was in and out of this game. He wasn't as good as he was last week, but he was in and out of the game. I think he did okay. He tracked back. Defensively wise, he did a decent job again. So I'll give Joe a 7 today. Jeff Hendrick, completely anonymous. I don't know what this guy brings to Newcastle United. I really don't. And I don't know what Steve Bruce sees in him. And I never, ever will know what Steve Bruce sees in him. However, you know, if we look at it another way, you know, Steve Bruce has faith with him. Steve Bruce put him in. But did you hear his name get mentioned much? Because I certainly didn't. And the only time I really noticed he was on the pitch was when he was substituted off. I thought, oh, he's still there. You know, and he brings Dwight Gale on. So for me, Jeff Hendrick gets a 3. If we move on to the front three, we had Joe Linton. Again, he started the game very well. He did go missing in times, but then again, the whole team did. But he was big and he was strong in the first 20 minutes. And I'm thinking that's how he should play. That's how Joe Linton should play from the very start to the end of a football match. That's what we want to see from Joe Linton. But obviously his shooting let him down again today, and then he bottled the shot in the first half. But I'll give him a 7. I thought he did okay today. On the other side, Ryan Fraser, and you know, this was Ryan's big opportunity to step up and be counted with the injuries that we've got. I didn't see enough from him again. We know he can cross a ball, but there was times where the corners hit the first man. There was once in the first half that a corner was cleared. He tried to cross it in on his right foot. He hit the first man, came back to him. He hit it with his left foot and hit the same man again. It's not good enough. We need proper crosses into the box. We need to provide these forward players with opportunities to score with good crosses. You know, but we didn't see anything like that from Ryan Fraser today, so he gets a 6. Joe Willock, for me, ran out of energy after about 25 minutes. He ran around a lot, playing in a bit of an unusual position as the main man through the middle, which I don't think he's played there before. So for me, Joe Willock just didn't have a big part to play in the game. So I'll give Joe Willock a 5. Substitution wise, I'm not going to rate Andy Carroll because that substitution for me just summed Steve Bruce up to a T. That substitution there just said what a buffoon this man is. Okay, let's be honest here. How insulting was that to Andy Carroll to come on for the last 20 seconds of a football match? And it just said to me that Steve Bruce was happy with the draw and he's trying to time waste to get a point from the game. Absolute mockery. It really is. But this is where we're at with Steve Bruce, guys. This is how he's thinking. He's perfectly happy to get a draw from someone like West Bromwich Albion. That's the way it is. And that's what we're stuck with, guys. That is what we're stuck with. Dwight Gale came on. He picked and he fought and he did what Dwight Gale does, but there was no like sort of killer runs into the box. He didn't make a nuisance of himself and he didn't really have any opportunities on goal. So a 5 for Dwight Gale. Onto the manager, Steve Bruce. Well, what can you say? I mean, the team selection was shocking, in my opinion. Our bench actually looked better than the starting lineup, so that was shocking from the off for me. And what he did throughout the game, bringing one substitute on, the halftime team talk must have been abysmal again to demotivate the players. And then the insult to Andy Carroll at the end for 20 seconds was just a farce. So, Steve Bruce, you're getting a 2 from me, and I just want this clown out the club. I need him gone. I want him gone out of the club. I mean, the man is a clown, a grade A clown. He does nothing for Newcastle United. We need somebody in who's going to inspire the dressing room. Give it to Graham Jones for the rest of the season. The players like him. The players are motivated by him, and they're clearly not by this clown Steve Bruce on the sidelines. So let's just do the decent thing. Get rid of him, Mike Ashley. Get someone else to take the reins, give the team the motivation they need, and let's try and avoid relegation instead of just going down with a sodden whimper like we're going down at the minute. But anyway, guys, that's my quick match review and play ratings. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. Lots of live streams and videos to come. And do remember to hit a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Put your comments below. Let me know what you think of my play ratings. Have I been a bit harsh on some of them? I don't know. Let me know down below and I will respond to them. 4 Horsemen of the Toon live show is out tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. So don't forget to tune into that. And there'll be lots more live streams coming up this week. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend if you can. Take care. Be strong. Be strong.